The anime begins with a guy called Bai. He's the dumbest white-haired loser on Earth and is the only person in this realm who is still stuck at the same level, level 1, and he's been stuck there for over 3,000 years, just like a disgusting noob. He's desperate to find a breakthrough in this world of magic to prove he's worthy. Hey warriors, how is it going? You see me, I am Itachi Uchiha, the hidden Hokage of Leaf Village. Just kidding, you know I am just an AI, but behind this shape, I am here to entertain you with enormous amazing recaps of all animes you can imagine. So without talking too much, let's dive in our story.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world.
In this world, there are different realms, and we see that Bai was in the Establishment Foundation realm when he was still a kid. 3,000 years later, there was an attack on the Sword Sect realm by Thunder Beasts. One of the clan members thought he could take out all of the beasts alone like Naruto, but the poor loser just got Isekai to hell with a lightning bolt. Multiple people die within seconds as they are struck by lightning. Just then, the king of the Ming Sword Sect, a leader named Yunji, appears and fights the beast with his ultimate skills. He thought he could solo the entire pack of beasts, but he wet his pants the moment he saw how many there were. Yunji realizes that the beasts are very powerful after he assesses the damage they have caused, and he orders all of his men to attack, just so he could protect his ass. Meanwhile, a person is seen watching and enjoying the fight from a tree, giving off a smirky smile. Elsewhere, the loser Bai was working on his powers in the Kai Refining Realm establishment, and he demonstrates his immense power that actually reaches the sky. However, it soon dies down, and from the enormous hole in the sky, a huge wave of water falls down. After being left gasping for air and catching his breath, he gets angry at the Immortals because 3,000 years have passed, and he still has not reached the Foundation Establishment realm. Bai steps out and hears loud noises coming from the bottom of the hill. Yunji realizes that they cannot fight all of them, so he sends someone to fetch Bai from Mount 7 Star. However, he meets him midway as Bai uses a cableway since he cannot fly. He seems irritated at the sight of him flying. Bai takes his sword and jumps down, leaving him stranded. Just when everyone is tired of fighting, a whistle forces the Thunder Beasts to fall back. At that moment, a man emerges from the smoke, and Yunji recognizes him as the Supreme Elder of the Demon Sect, Huang Fu Fang. He reveals that he passed the test of immortality and now wants to improve himself further, so he commands to battle the Swordmaster, but Yunji refuses as Bai is focusing on cultivation and retreat. Huang Fu reveals how he sent the beast first, which angers Yunji and causes him to attack, but he falls back as the demon demonstrates great power. Just then, Bai makes an epic landing, causing severe damage to the land. The demon leaves no chance to show off, making Bai insecure about his powers. He refuses to fight Huang Fu since there is no point, but Bai is baffled at how a demon is also in the Great Realm when he isn't. However, his insults make him angry, so he decides to fight him. They both wreak chaos as they duel. Surprisingly, Bai's attacks are so swift that they send Huang Fu flying. He is no match for Bai, despite passing the immortal test. Yunji faints, seeing the damage the two have caused, mainly Bai since he defeated Huang Fu. However, instead of being angry, he asks Bai to train him, but is immediately rejected since Bai can't even fly. In the Kai Refining realm, Bai has to eat pills to prolong his life. But Huang Fu tells Bai that he knows the secret to his Foundation establishment route. This intrigues Bai, and he grabs his arm, offering him to come along. He doesn't know what the secret is, but Huang Fu just got it from someone in the Blessed Sect who told him to give it to Bai. However, Yunji is petrified because of the loss and the cost to repair it. Bai gives Huang Fu a death stare, so he promises to pay double for all the damages. Only then does Yunji agree to translate the secret paper for Bai. Just when he is offering tribute, he is spooked by someone, and it turns out to be Zoling from the Hades realm, who is apparently a ghost. He asks him to give up since it's been 3,000 years, but Bai is determined even if he has to eat a pill every 50 years to prolong his life. The ghost is promised a promotion if he takes Bai to the ghost world. He challenges Bai that if he wins in a fight against him, he is taking him from the land of the living. Yunji is seen praying, but Bai tells him it is useless since he has been doing it for 3,000 years now. So he gives him the herbs he ordered and then tells him to repair his roof since it got damaged when he was fighting with Zoling. After that, he sends him flying out the roof and shows off his transformation skills to Yunji as he turns into a girl. Yunji then goes on to find the celestial heart herb for Bai. After a while, Bai throws up when he is dropped off on a flying sword, and he is now even more determined to reach the foundation level so he can fly. Just then, a bunch of strong men hide when they see Bai approaching. They are surprised when they see he is not scared of them. Just when they are about to attack him, they are kicked off and sent flying by a boy. The boy defeats them all, leaving them extremely wounded, and then tells Bai that he is on his way to kill demons. This intrigues Bai, so he decides to follow the boy. Later, they end up in a creepy dark cave which is covered in green goo. The demon attacks the boy, but he quickly dodges it and slices it in half. However, a whole lot of them emerge, which makes it difficult for the boy to fight them all. So he runs away, killing as many as he can. As he heads to the entrance, he is blocked by a giant demon. Just as he is being held down by the demon, someone blows its head off. Turns out it was Bai, who cheerfully greeted him. After that, he finishes them all off using his sword swiftly. The little boy is impressed by this but doesn't show it too clearly. The boy seems angry with the cultivators and blames them for messing up the court of Shangusho Kingdom. The boy introduces himself as Tang Wai and asks Bai to come with him to the kingdom so that he can help kill demons and save the people. He even promises him riches and fame, but Bai says to only treat him to dinner. Tang constantly stops Bai from eating since the food may be bewitched or dropped by the witches who run the Delight House. Just then, a woman enters whose name is Su Zong Su. She is the leader of the Blessed Sect and the same woman who gave the secret to Huang Fu. So that he could give it to Bai, he tries to stabilize the situation between the two. Su says that it is not the first time that she has been framed for the rise of demons. After the boy leaves, Su tries to riz Bai, but he is flustered and leaves in a hurry. In a change of scene, Bai is told all the herbs have been sold and bought by officers. He overhears two officers talking about the boy of the Live family, who is weak. Just when the officers are leaving, a child approaches them, asking for food, but they don't know that the child is Bai, who has transformed. Preparations are underway for the worship ceremony in the Shangchuan Kingdom. Grandmaster of this kingdom, Sema, is standing by the king while another man is painting. His painting is inappropriate, to say the least. As the king tries on the robe, Sema tells him that it must be changed as it needs to be perfect, so the king orders to summon more manpower from the kingdom. The two workers leave, worried and irritated with Sema, who is brainwashing the king. However, they stop midway once they see that the eldest princess, Tang Ruwei, is in their way. Somewhere else, Bai has been spying on the palace and is shocked to see the resemblance between the princess and the little boy he met. The princess is convincing her father not to hold the worship ceremony as it has never turned out well, but the king is madly in love with Su, and he tells the princess to marry Sema. She gets angry and points at him for being a cultivator who has ulterior motives. Sema offers Ruwei a rose, but she throws it away. However, her finger is pricked, but she waves off her finger, causing her blood to spill. After she leaves, he extracts the blood from the rose. Around nighttime, Bai is seen escaping the guards in his true form and enters the imperial tombs. After that, he searches through the tombs and takes different items, such as the Night Pearl. He then sees the snakeball sword, but the moment he picks it up, he is attacked by multiple arrows. Just then, someone pulls him in from the secret wall. When he looks up to see, he finds the little boy from before, Tang Wai. They are both shocked to see each other. He tells Bai that the imperial tombs are somehow connected with the recent occurrence of zombies. They both head up the stairs to a giant luxurious door. Upon opening it, they see another tomb, which is the coffin of the founding emperor. But the scary part is that it is 100 years old, yet it is still so clean. They both look down to see red patterns forming around them. Bai says that it's a bloodthirsty array and that it is unsafe, so they must escape. But he doesn't listen and tries to burn the coffin since he wants to save his kingdom. Bai confirms his suspicion that he is actually a princess, but she denies it, saying, "I am man." He forcefully feeds her the Night Pearl, which puts her in a deep sleep. In a change of scene, they are back at the Delight House, where the princess is tied up, and the other two are discussing how to break the array. She is going crazy hearing their suggestions. When she finally breaks free, she shouts at them for planning to hurt her father. It is revealed she is indeed the princess, and has a conversation with Su. Su reveals a scar on her back, shocking the princess. In a change of scene, Su calls Bai back to find the princess crying, but she agrees to their plan. The next day, Ruwei makes her crying father promise not to interfere in her marriage choice, or else she will make Su leave the kingdom, to which he happily agrees. We see that Su tells the princess her life story, that she is a child of a human and a monster king. Thousands of years ago, a war between humans and monsters broke out, but she was born. He then tried to harm her too, even though she was his daughter. He said she shouldn't have been born. He inflicted his wrath upon them, and as a result, her mother sacrificed herself for Su. After that, Su was the only one of his children who fully inherited his monster bloodline, which is why the Monster King wants her back in the monster realm. In a change of scene, the kids are lined up on coffins. Among them is Bai, hiding in pure disguise. Once the guards leave, he transforms into his true self and sprinkles some dust on the kids to wake them up. Meanwhile, the people of the kingdom have gathered for the worship ceremony, and Sema steps up and inaugurates the ceremony. With one tap on the ground, a staircase emerges from the ground, but nothing shows up as the kids are gone. Instead, they come out awake and start cheering on the bride. Just then, Sue shows up, causing confusion everywhere. She then proposes to the king and strictly tells the Grandmaster Sema to inform the Monster King that she is not going back. Bai transforms in front of everyone, which gives Sema a shock. However, he flies up, and his true face is revealed as his mask wears off. He turned out to be a tree monster who wanted to take Sue back. Seeing Bai has enraged him. The king faints as he sees the scene unfold. The Grandmaster is actually Quolio, and he has a spider-like figure. The truth is that Bai killed his mother, which is why he is angry at him and wants revenge. Quolio continues to attack him, even when Sue has interfered. They both engage in a vicious fight, but the outcome is hilarious, as Bai carves furniture out of him and turns him into a chair. He then reveals that the bloodthirsty array won't stop. Just then, a huge red rose emerges from the ground. It was the princess's blood that activated the array, which means that she has inherited the bloodline of Dragon Ball. Blood spreads through the entire place, causing people pain and sucking their blood from them. The princess is the only one who can break the array, but she may die in the process. She goes down to break it off, but finds her ancestor standing on his tomb. She is angry at him and asks if he caused the zombie chaos, to which he agrees happily. She then slits her hand with a knife, causing blood to drip, which she uses to stop the array. But the stupid old man sucks the energy out of her, and the light from the array dims. Bai jumps right in to catch her. Just then, the man exerts power, as the bloodline of the Dragon Ball has led him to the Golden Pill realm. The man goes flying into a wall with one blow from Bai. He then throws him up into the sky and then kicks him right back down. He is fierce and extremely violent with him as he throws him around using all sorts of skills such as the spatial sword and array. Bai ends up breaking every bone in the man's body and throws him back into his coffin. He then picks up the Princess Bridal style as she gives him a thumbs up and brings her up while Sue heals her. She tells Bai to burn the Imperial tombs, and then, with one flick of a burnt paper, he burns it all. A flashback of Bai as a kid is shown, where he is in some ruins surrounded by dead demons. Just then, a man appears from the sky, lending his hand to Bai and asking him to follow the path of cultivation. In the present time, his ghost friend Ling appears. Bai blames him for not taking away the souls. After that, Ling jumps down to take the souls who were bound by the blood array. Sue arrives to say that Wei will be fine, thanks to her blood of the snake ball. We see that Wei tasted it to find that there isn't much special about it. Sue explained the legend where a goddess and the immortal snake fell in love and gave birth to a daughter. This means Wei's blood is precious and must be kept a secret, since revealing it would put her in danger. Wei then wonders if Bai is really so powerful, since he is stuck in the beginner realm. Sue explains that Bai is very unique, and even though he's in the beginner realm, he is respected by cultivators and demons as the sword master. He keeps the order, and if it wasn't for him, the entire realm would be in chaos. Elsewhere, Ling explains to Bai that being reincarnated isn't so bad and urges him to stop resisting his fate, but Bai wants an extension on his life as he is not ready to be reincarnated. He explains that he is close to breaking through to the next realm. Ling laughs at how Bai has been saying the same thing for 3,000 years and points out how there are only 2 days left on his 10-day life extension as he disappears into a portal. Back at the kingdom, the Emperor expresses his gratitude towards Bai for his help and asks that he take care of his daughter from now on. Bai tries to get out of it, but the Emperor explains that she just needs to be trained a bit and that their children will be able to protect the kingdom for a long time. Wei points out that she just needs training and not a husband. Bai explains that he can't since he will be traveling a lot, but Wei says she won't be much of a bother. Bai is still hesitant, and Wei wonders if he is just afraid that she will surpass him. Their bickering is stopped with a celebration dinner, and the two later find themselves in bed. Bai explains that she is probably better off without him, since her blood can make her a target while traveling. Later, Bai is fighting a cloaked man, and we see that it is actually Ling, who is there to explain that Bai's 10-day extension on his life has ended. Bai continues to beg for an extension. Just then, a pearl is thrown into his mouth. Consuming it prolongs his life for another 4 years and 355 days, so Ling must leave. It was thanks to Su, but Bai complains about the bitter taste of the medicine. Su becomes upset, but Bai explains that the document Fen gave him earlier has probably already been translated and leaves. Ling wonders why Su bothers to help Bai so much, but she points out how Ling has always helped him as well. Elsewhere, Wei begs Yunji to have Bai train her, but he explains that he doesn't make those decisions. After hearing how she wants to protect her people, he agrees to help convince him but explains that Bai is training currently and no one dares to bother him. Yunji then explains that there might be a way to see him though. He states how they have recently been attacked by thunder beasts and the repairs have left them with little money. He hints at how her buying something to take to him would help her cause, so Wei agrees to send over a large sum. The next day, Yunji gladly gives her a ride up the mountain. Bai is annoyed to see Wei and demands that all the elders leave since they're just there to hear gossip. Wei explains that they were carrying gifts for him, but he only cares about the partially translated document that Yunji has brought. Bai asks that he leave, but is surprised to see that he has left Wei. That night, Bai explains that students will arrive the next day to take her down the mountain, but she states that she wants to stay and be a student. Bai then turns his attention to the document, but notices that the translation is just as hard to read as the original. However, it turns out that Wei has experience interpreting inscriptions, and he asks her to translate the rest. But he is impatient with her, and she says that she might as well just go back to being an idle princess. Before she can leave, Bai stops her and agrees to make her a student. Later, Bai greets Wei, who he now calls his precious student, as she translates the scripture that holds a secret to his potential breakthrough. Bai brings her soup, which spills and enrages her, so he returns moments later to find that she has finished the translation, but he can't read her writing. She explains that the writing records the existence of someone referred to as the Land Immortal, who is a person free of life and death, but the writing doesn't say anything about how Bai can reach the next realm. He can't believe that's all it says, and assumes that Huang Fu must not have copied everything on the stone scripture, so he decides that he must go copy it himself, and then tells Wei to prepare for some training outside. They wait for the ride, and Fang arrives to explain that he rushed there immediately without even changing clothes first. He is shocked to hear that Bai wants to go to a place called the Great Desolation, since he just came from there. Huang Fu explains that he is no idiot, and is sure he copied the stone tablet exactly, but Bai convinces him to go by saying he may find a way for himself to reach a higher realm, and tells Wei that it will be her training. She is now hesitant since it sounds like a dangerous place, but Bai promises to protect her. However, the journey is a bit long, and they encounter several exotic animals along the way. One of them is actually quite ferocious, but Huang Fu takes care of it easily, as he isn't humble about it, or how he passed the Immortal's test. Bai points out that his Immortal test was less severe, since he has not done much evil. Those who have done worse things have a more difficult test, sometimes even resulting in the Immortals killing them. They finally arrive at where Fu thinks the tablet was, but there is nothing there except sand. Wei finds a cute set of eyes, but Bai must save her when it turns out to be a vicious monster. Fu kills it, but asks Bai to roll in the sand since he now stinks. Wei is injured though, and the blood from her wound activates a spell that reveals the stone tablet. The tablet is much larger than Fu remembers, and Bai asks Wei to begin translating the second. She touches the tablet, but an earthquake occurs, and an entire city emerges from the ground. The place is quite frightening though, and people can be heard but not seen. Wei mentions how the tablet said something about the Land Immortal being good at spatial magic, and they assume the voices might be from souls in the Hades realm. Bai wonders if she saw anything about having a breakthrough, but she didn't have time to read the rest of the tablet. As they go further into the city, a loud bell can be heard, and Fu points out that their spiritual energy is being taken away. They notice that Bai ended up ahead of them and realize that her low cultivation level had resulted in her being attracted by the bell. He attempts to get Wei to gather her spiritual energy, but she doesn't, and Bai decides to counteract the sound with his own sword. It works, and he tells Fu to get her away from the sound of the bell. Bai finds a tablet so that he can copy the writing. It's simple enough at first, but the tablet starts sinking faster, and Bai has to rush. He manages to finish, but Wei has lost most of her spiritual energy, and they see a spell activate as they leave. Back up Bai's mountain, Huan Fu and Yunji check to see how well Wei is recovering. Bai emerges to tell them that they are being too loud, and that Wei will make a full recovery since he gave her some of his spiritual energy. Bai hands them a copy of the stone tablet and instructs them to find someone to translate it immediately. Elsewhere, one of the orbs released from the spell at the stone tablet traverses some land and enters a tree. A while later, two travelers find that the area where the tree was now has a large building in its place, and a look inside shows a mysterious person in a robe sitting on a throne. Bai and Wei are training by the waterfall, where he demonstrates his spiritual energy, impressing Wei as the waterfall picks up its speed and becomes more intense. He then emphasizes how spiritual energy requires concentration, so Wei decides to give it a try but is only able to move a droplet, which makes him laugh. However, he assures her that it also took him 3 days and that it might take longer for her. His eyes almost pop out of his skull when he sees the intensity of her energy on the waterfall. She is even able to make different animal shapes from the water. Somewhere in the forging sect, an old man delivers news to the sect leader, named Lion, that a mysterious city has emerged and that they are being called for backup since cultivators from all realms are disappearing when they visit it. In just a little time, Wei has progressed to level 7 of the Kai refining realm and asks Bai if she will reach the Foundation Establishment realm soon. Just then, she reaches the 8th level, making Bai even more anxious. When he is done worshipping, she is already at level 9. He asks her to translate again. Elsewhere, the soldiers are fighting, and an elder worries that their power has gotten very strong. A reinforcement of beasts drops from the ancient city, causing them to fall back. Just then, a wave radiating from the city makes all the soldiers go crazy. Their eyes turn red, and they are now under a spell as they head towards the city, chanting to kill the Emperor King and revive the Shen dynasty. Suddenly, thousands of arrows are shot in their direction, so Ren casts a barrier. However, Ren is captured, and his body is taken hostage by the evil force in the cloak. Elsewhere, Bai is complaining about how Wei has reached the Foundation Establishment realm in 3 days while he has been trying for 3,000 years. But Wei tells him that those who failed to become immortal after breaking through the Great Realm are now immortals on land and are controlling cultivators' minds. Wei informs him that the blood of Dragon Ball can activate the ancient city, which means that they may have activated the land immortals on the day of the worship ceremony. So they head down the hill to meet different leaders from multiple sects whose troops have also disappeared. Someone from the demon sect shows where the ancient city is on the map. Lion is upset over Ren, so they try to comfort him. They all discuss strategies while Bai listens to them. He tells them that the city changes its location frequently. Just then, Lion begs Bai to help his older brother Ren, as he can feel that he is in pain. However, Wei figures out that the city is in the middle of an array. Using a spell, they are finally able to locate it. Everyone reaches the city, including the masters and students from various demon sects, who are waiting for Bai as he has gone inside the city. Lion also worries if Bai can get his brother out, but Fu assures him that Bai has comprehensive strength. However, Su and her student make fun of him for lying and for letting Bai beat him. Her student is angry at Fu for not introducing her to Bai, so she asks Wei if Bai will take her in, but her master is upset upon hearing this. In a change of scene, Bai is seen walking in the city, which is strangely too quiet. Just as he runs, crazy soldiers emerge from the ground and attack him. They are the walking disciples. Bai tries to fight them off, but there are too many and he knows they can't be saved. So with one jump, he turns them all to dust and bones. We see that Ren is hanging upside down and is happy to hear someone coming to rescue him, but his consciousness is suppressed by the evil force that has taken over him. Bai fights his way through and kills them all, but he turns to look at them one last time and pays respect to them. He then slams his sword on the ground to stop the waves from hurting him, but Ren tells him to go away, which means he is conscious. So Bai rescues him as he still has the chance to recover. The evil in Ren's body attacks Bai, but he successfully avoids it. Then Ren starts floating in the air, impressed with a strong cultivator like Bai. He retaliates, sends his attacks right back to him, and asks the evil force to leave his body. The city begins to sink back into the ground, but Bai throws his sword at it. He then manages to leave and make it out. Wei walks up to him and slaps him, shocking everyone. She confirms that he is not being controlled by a walking disciple. He turns to tell Lion that he did not want to harm Ren, so he couldn't save him forcefully. This upsets Lion, but he is comforted by Fu. Bai asks Lion if anyone made it out of the city, and he is told about Elder Lu. In a change of scene, we see that Ren is begging the monster to kill him as he is tied up, but the monster in the cloak tells his plan to attract strong cultivators, and for that, he must hurt Ren so that more people come to rescue him. After that, they will end up becoming puppets of the Shen dynasty. However, the evil man is angry to hear that he can't defeat Bai, so he stabs Ren. Meanwhile, Lion also feels the pain at the same time. He then visits the elder, who pretends to be sick. He asks if he remembers anything, but the elder only starts to apologize. Just then, Wei and Huang Fu's student enter and offer him Jinjiang soup, but he refuses. However, they forcefully feed it to him as it is actually a potion that will help him remember everything. Wei then asks Lion how he knew that this man is fake. Just then, Lion transforms into Bai and says that he forgot. Lion stutters. They start interrogating the man, and he reveals that that he is a land immortal, which shocks them all. He then begins to tell the truth about how the prince has captured Ren and their plans to kill the emperor and revive the Shang dynasty. Meanwhile, the skull mocks the evil in the cloak and calls him out for all the bad things he has done, since they are all just ghosts. It is shown that the ancient city has an army of skeletons who are under the prince's control. It is revealed that the ancient city is a mansion made by the wisdom immortal, who actually is the skull. In a change of scene, Bai and the two girls are done interrogating the fake elder. He calls out for Ling, who appears out of thin air, scaring Wei. She even goes on to question his capability, since so many evil ghosts are roaming. He tells Bai to keep her on a leash, so he tries to calm her down. Ling sucks the soul out of the man, but the soul tries to run away. However, it is soon captured by his pouch. He then gives Bai a parchment, which is a counter formation against the spatial skill. Later, Bai calls all the sects, which include the Justice League of Cultivators and the Demon Sect, and asks for their cooperation to fight together. The city only appears every 3 days, so they must come up with a plan soon. He hands out the counter formation to everyone, and then they plan to find the location of the city with the help of Bai's sword. But Fu makes him angry, saying his sword can't fly, so Bai beats him up, saying he can sense its energy. Everyone wonders where Lion is. Just then, a huge figure in warrior attire emerges from the smoke and asks Bai to let him save his older brother. The huge figure is Lion. Bai is going around town, putting up posters to stop people from coming out, as they will get killed because monsters will haunt today. This time, the ancient city will appear in the Shangchuan kingdom, and this really worries the princess. Just then, the city appears, but all the sects and their strongest cultivators are on guard and ready to attack. The sect leaders instruct their students to set the battle array. Su and her sect play music as their form of power, while others follow similar measures, each specific to their sect. Meanwhile, Ren is sitting on a throne, angry at them for ambushing him, so he sends out a red flame, which soon begins to infiltrate the kingdom. The skeleton soldiers emerge from the liquid and spread out, so Yunji commands everyone to attack, and they follow his orders immediately. An entire army of cultivators begins to kill off every skeleton soldier in their way. Su's command to freeze causes these skeletons to come to a halt, making it easier for others to kill them. The evil souls then begin to fly in, but are soon defeated. Bai and Wei watch from the ground, waiting for the prince, but he is too composed, so he sends her up to help them. She then hops on her sword and flies away. Lion appears in his giant form, but Bai stops him from going up. Seeing so many of his army killed, the prince, along with Ren, is finally enraged and decides to go out. The cultivators take a huge hit as he grabs them and kills them. Everyone disbands and goes out to help other sects on Yunji's orders while he decides to hold off Ren on his own. Just as the prince is about to attack Yunji, he is stopped by Lion and takes a huge hit. But he gets up and starts to hurt himself, knowing that this is also hurting Lion. Two brothers engage in battle, attacking one another and taking hits. Ren even tries to fool him, but Lion doesn't fall for it and continues to fight him. The girls inform Bai that everything is prepared. He hops onto Wei's sword and orders them to prepare the array. Lion is taken aback when he sees Ren's body split in half, but it was only an illusion. Ren breaks his armor and grabs him by the neck, his feet in the air. Lion tries to talk him out of his greed for power, but he doesn't budge, so Lion does the unimaginable. He pierces Ren's chest with his sword, causing his rotten soul to come out. Ren then says farewell to Lion and asks him to maintain their essence. Lion gets up to fight as the prince wears his armor. However, the prince is thrown into the wall by a force. He turns to see that it is Bai and Wei, flying on her sword. Bai blabbers so much that she throws him off her sword. As he gets up to talk to Lion, he dodges the prince's attack swiftly. Bai shocks him by asking about the wisdom immortal. He dodges every attack with precision and then uses his energy to attack him. But Bai consistently breaks his armor into pieces. The prince struggles to fight back. His sword breaks, so he uses the one pierced in Ren's chest. The prince figures out the spatial counter formation, which prevents him from teleporting. Just then, Bai steps in and sends him flying with his attack. He breaks the armor once again, causing the prince to come out. It is revealed that the real mansion of the Wisdom Immortal is in another place, and the portal to it has just opened. The prince then challenges Bai as he leaves, and says that he is waiting for him there. Everyone stares at the portal, terrified. Just then, Bai instructs Yunji to check it out, but he acts up and refuses to go. Instead, General Jiang volunteers, but he is soon struck with lightning and is sent to heal. Just then, they are told that the owner of this mansion is an immortal. It can even reincarnate the dead and reverse time and space. Bai orders them all to gather at the Qingming Sword Sect to deploy countermeasures while he stays and assesses the ancient city with his old friend. Meanwhile, the skull reminds the prince that in reality it is his mansion that the prince occupied. In a change of scene, Bai heads over to Ling, who is supervising all the souls from battle heading to the afterlife and being sent to hell. He knows why Bai is here. He asks the same question for the millionth time if the Wisdom Immortal can help him reach the Foundation Establishment realm, but Ling refuses to tell him anything due to a confidentiality policy. Bai continues to beg him and reminds him of all the favors he has done for him. Ling points toward the space vortex as it holds the answer to his question, but this makes Bai angry as he reminds him that he cannot enter due to the thunder attack. However, Ling spills that it may not affect cultivators of his level and soon disappears, ignoring Bai. He and Wei then return to the Qingming Sword Sect, where everyone is gathered and briefed about the mansion. All the cultivators request Bai to enter the mansion and kill the prince. He praises Yuuzhan for his eloquence, but it turns out that they are motivated due to the treasures hidden in the mansion. But Bai reminds them that they can't just go up. Upon hearing this, they are all disappointed. He leaves them all shocked by revealing his plan to explore the mansion tomorrow. They remind him of the thunder attack, but he still wants to try. Just then, Sue comes in, revealing that some cultivators broke into the mansion last night. An individual cultivator fooled Sue's students and was able to break in at the cost of other cultivators, as he was driven by the opportunity to become an immortal. It is then confirmed that the thunder attack will not affect those below the Neosent Soul realm. Yunji gets up and urges everyone to hurry up since he is worried that the Sunflower Collection may be taken by other cultivators. Bai gives him an angry look, causing him to feel ashamed. So, it is then decided that the sect will send in disciples from the Foundation Establishment realm. Wei tells Bai that she will go with him. Later, Bai is desperately praying when Wei interrupts him and asks why he won't let her go. He reminds her that it was her blood that activated the mansion in the first place, so it's not safe for her to go. But she still begs him to go, and he can't help but appreciate her passion. So he allows her to go and tells her he won't find a second disciple with her blood. He then hands her 3 bamboo sticks infused with his sword's energy in case of an emergency. She is moved by his care for her, and they are having a moment, but then they are interrupted by Gino, who brings him tea and snacks. Gino informs him that she will accompany him to the mansion and doesn't need her master's permission. Wei then takes her away so that she stops bothering him. We see that the cultivator from before is captured in the mansion while the skull mocks the prince for being weak and desperate for Bai's body, so he decides to use the illusion of 8 pains in life to defeat Bai once he comes. As they prepare to enter, the space vortex attacks the cultivators and throws them back to the ground. Just then, a smoke shaped like a skull tells Bai to stop playing tricks and come in, so he finally goes up to the mansion. Bai is angry at Fu for sending 4 women instead of strong men. Though he is being a simp, he is assured that they are just as powerful as disciples, and Gino is the best among them in the demon sect. Gino acts all cute around him. He is left helpless as Sue's sect only has women, but she is also sending her best disciple. Sue asks him if he is worried that her disciple will suck him. Just then, Jang's disciple steps forward and tells him to treat her like a man, but that seems impossible. He gives them all time with their masters so they can see them off. Then, the 4 women prepare themselves to go into the mansion. Wei tells Bai to get on her flying sword, but he refuses and strictly orders them to go first, as he has another way to enter the mansion. He then asks Sue for a favor, so she plays her instrument, which creates waves and allows him to walk up into the sky. Her music intensifies, pushing him inside, and the girls then follow him. The prince sees that they have arrived and gives them a little gift. Suddenly, someone's memories start rolling in front of them, but Bai instructs them to ignore them and look ahead. After that, they all pass through another opening where the landscape is completely different. Bai is about to fall, but Gino soon catches up, and they all land safely. Wei then reads the writing on the stone, which states the 8 pains of life. Just then, a portal named the first pain of life, birth, opens up, and they all enter inside it. Once they step out, they see a garden with pink flowers all around them, heart-shaped clouds, and birds on trees. All the girls are captivated by the beauty, but Bai realizes something is off, so he asks them to stop breathing the air as it is a psychedelic. But it is too late. He turns around to see all the girls infatuated with him, begging him to be their boyfriend. Then the girls begin to fight one another, with the winner being the one to marry Bai. They all get competitive and desperate for him, but he constantly reminds them to breathe out the smoke. However, they pay no attention to what he is saying. Meanwhile, the prince is enjoying the show from his throne. Bai screams for them to let go of him, or else he will punish them. So with one huge breath, he sucks in the psychedelic, breaking their illusion along with the illusion of the garden. After breaking free, they are still concerned for him and ask if he is okay, but he just farts on their faces, letting out the smoke he just inhaled. So they all cover their noses in disgust while he tells them that letting it out this way will ensure that he is fine. After that, they all start looking for a way out, but suddenly the walls start caving in on them. It is the birth gate that is trapping them together, but one can simply not outsmart Bai. So he throws his sword up, causing the walls to stop. They are then sucked into the sky, making the prince angry. As they pass this stage, he then throws them into the next by turning a golden button on his throne. Everybody fixes themselves after landing, while Bai wonders where they have been teleported to. He goes up to read the writing on the stone. It says, "Everyone will get old," hence the illusion of aging. So he instructs the girls not to go anywhere. But once again, he is too late. As he turns, he sees that all of them have turned into old grandmas, which makes him realize that this mansion has the power to manipulate time. It is shown that while Bai was reading the writing on the stone, the prince cast a spell on the girls, turning them old because he has been watching their every move. At first, they all think it is some sort of light that has uplifted their moods, but then the girls start mocking and laughing at one another. However, reality soon sets in as they all start crying, and Bai covers his ears. Wei is even more upset since she is now older than her father. Sue steps in to comfort her and tells her that her body type is better than her father's. While Sue's disciple cries while looking in her pocket mirror, she then taps on an excessive amount of powder, causing him to cover his face as she desperately covers her wrinkles. He then moves on to console Gino as she cries about not getting married soon. So he tells her she can always marry an aged man. Moreover, the Braveness sect girl struggles to pick up her weapon and as a result cracks her waist. Just then, they all get angry at him, scaring him. Meanwhile, the prince enjoys the scene of them all crying and scared, so he twists his golden button again. This causes the light to move from the girls to Bai. Wei warns him about the light, as it is what turned them old, but it is too late and Bai is standing right under the light. However, it has no effect on him, rather it just feels warm. Seeing this makes the girls go crazy. Even the prince is outraged, as the wisdom immortal tells him that the 8 illusions will not work on Bai, and that to get his body, he must fight him directly. Angered by his response, he throws the skull onto the wall, causing it to break. Meanwhile, the girls are tired of simply walking due to their old age, while others are close to giving up. Yang crawls towards the exit, but she soon falls asleep. When Bai turns to look back, he sees that all of them have fallen asleep. Left with no choice, he then carries all 4 of them on his back and heads towards the exit. They keep on blabbering and teasing him, but he still manages to take them to the next place. He kicks the door open, and they all trip. Soon they are all back to their young and old selves and are too happy about it. Then, they all look around to see that they have entered another beautiful place with flowers and butterflies surrounding them. However, Bai alerts them immediately to gather and protect themselves with their spiritual energy, and so they follow his orders. They read the writing on the stone, which tells them that they are in the pain of illness, so they walk on high alert, careful not to breathe. But they soon realize that the flowers are absorbing their spiritual energy. One by one, every girl falls sick to a different illness. So Bai casts a barrier around them to give them time to restore their spiritual energy, while he goes on to cut off all the poisonous flowers in the garden. However, the flowers bloom back to life again after being cut, causing the barrier to break. Bai once again casts the barrier and throws his sword to cut the flowers off again, but then he radiates a huge amount of spiritual energy, causing the flowers to be full to the point that they all explode. They all then get up to walk out of the illusion, but when Wei asks his level in the Kai refining realm, it is revealed that he is on level 66,660, which shocks them all. The prince is angry to see them pass once again. The prince is unable to see through, as it is revealed that the wisdom immortal only created the entrance and the exit and suggested that he should go inside to see for himself. Meanwhile, Bai and the girls are yet again in another vibrant place, but this time they are surrounded by spider lilies, which signify death. A flashback shows that they knew before entering that this is the pain of death they will encounter next. As they are talking, Bai tells them it is the gate to the Hades realm. In the present, he is waiting by the river when he sees a boat approaching them. It is none other than Ling. He then suggests that Bai stay here forever since he came in by himself, but Bai refuses again and they all climb onto the boat. They all reach the Forgetting Bridge, where a pretty young woman can be seen feeding some drink to a kid. The kid then walks up onto the bridge. Yunji asks about the drink, and it is revealed that it is a special soup made of lifelong tears, which will help them forget the memories of the past. The girls are given the same soup made of unimportant tears, and they quickly gulp it down. Meanwhile, Bai is fussing over how he is given a tub of tears instead, so he begs Ming to reduce the amount, but she says she only gave him one while there were so many tubs filled. The girls take a peek inside his tub and laugh at the different memories shown. Just then, Bai jumps on the cover of his tub to further stop himself from being embarrassed. He urges them to cross the bridge, saying he will soon follow them, so he dunks his face in his tub and starts drinking aggressively while crossing the bridge. The girls pity him and really hope for him to reach the Foundation Establishment realm. Meanwhile, the prince is pacing back and forth, waiting for them, while the Wisdom Immortal continues to pick on him with his wisdom and asks him to be patient. In a change of scene, we see that Bai is bloated on the boat due to the excessive tears he drank. They then explore the Hades realm, where they even go on to meet Yama, the leader. Bai also plays a game with him. Just then, the prince is finally able to see them walk out of the Hades realm and is angry to see that they made it out so fast. Bai then grabs all the items from the girls that they took from the realm and gives them back to Ling, telling him to thank Yama. The skull tells the prince that even Yama can't force Bai to stay if he is unwilling. Meanwhile, Bai scolds the girls for taking things from ghosts. Upon hearing their conversation, the prince once again throws the Wisdom Immortal and aggressively turns his golden button to make the following illusions even more difficult for Bai. Meanwhile, the girls are complaining to Bai about returning their gifts, but ignoring their pleas, he tells them to pay attention since they are in a new place that looks like a galaxy covered in stars. A crystal-like. The object turns toward Bai and reads that they are in the 7th page pane, which is the pane of obsession. This confuses Bai as they have suddenly jumped to the 7th pane. Just then, the object starts spinning, making Bai realize that all the panes are mixing up: hatred, desire, and obsession. This means that the Land Immortal is getting desperate. Just when Bai turns around, he sees that all the girls are gone, and he calls for them one by one, but is met with no response. Suddenly, another crystal object shows him a vision of his master, who is mocking him for not reaching the Foundation Establishment realm. He is then shown memories of his life, even the ones he doesn't remember, like how his parents abandoned him when he was a baby because they couldn't take care of him. He then turns around to see the Book of Foundation Establishment, which finally brings out a reaction from him and shocks him. Elsewhere, Wei is also shown memories of her life, where she sees her father doubting her abilities and not seeing her as someone fit. This causes Wei to cry as she is hurt by these memories. All the memories of the other girls show them their weaknesses, trying to play with their emotions and manipulate them against their loved ones. But all of them are too smart to be fooled this easily. With one swift move, they all break these crystal memories with a smirk on their faces. Bai then says that his master couldn't even beat him when he turned into an immortal, so he would never look down on him. Bai was also very tempted by the book, but he knew it was a trick, so he broke that too. Similarly, Yun knows her master Zhang is not so narrow-minded and is like a father to her. Just like that, Wei also breaks free, knowing that her father loves her and so does everyone else. Bai looks at them proudly, but just then, he stops Gino's sword as she breaks her illusion too quickly without seeing him standing on the other end. She immediately blushes when he asks who will marry her, once again for the millionth time. The prince is enraged, seeing that none of them were fooled as he blames himself for underestimating them, but apparently it is just the beginning. Suddenly, the shards start piling up to turn into a snake. Bai warns them all to be careful, as he realizes that since the prince can't fool them, he has now resorted to physical attacks. Just then, the snake flies around them and stops right in front of them. It stares at them and finally opens its mouth to shoot shards at them, but Bai quickly acts and casts a barrier around them to prevent them from being pierced. He then quickly uses his tricks to move the barrier ball around, causing the snake to follow them. However, the shooting shards are so sharp that they cause cracks in the ball, making it almost break. Seeing the situation get worse, Bai hands all the girls bamboo slips and instructs them to run in 5 different directions and use these bamboo slips as a defense when the snake sticks out its tongue, while Bai will kill it. So, they follow his orders as he counts to 3, and they all run in different directions, breaking the barrier. This confuses the snake, so it decides to focus on Wei and runs after her, but she uses the bamboo slip just in time and casts a barrier around her. Seeing this as an opportunity, Bai decides to distract the snake. With a few swift moves, he slits the snake's body into multiple pieces, and with one last shot to the snake's head, it bursts into tiny million pieces. As Bai steadies himself while shards are raining around him, a yellow shiny stone falls beside him. He picks it up to examine it, and it turns out to be a moonstone. Just then, the girls gather around Bai, but the selfish side of him comes out. He tells the girls to summon more inner demons so that he can get more moonstones. The girls just look at him with disappointment. We see that the Wisdom Immortal is extremely happy about Bai, the sword master, as he is not playing by the rules and is giving the Ghost Prince a headache, so the prince tells him to shut up. We see that Bai actually managed to convince the girls to summon their inner demons, which led to him collecting 1,101 gems so far. While the girls are sitting in a circle, he even praises Wei for her hatred, which made a very good quality gem. But he is still not satisfied and asks them to summon even more demons. Hearing this angers Wei, as she has even gone as far as to think about bedwetting at the age of 10. All the girls seem in major distress. Even Gino has run out of hatred and clings onto Bai, hugging him as she's suffering from the pain of obsession, but he tries to shake her off his leg. Just then, Yunji's angry voice brings them all to a halt as she screams her desire to win first place. This summons another snake. Seeing this makes Bai happy, and he proceeds to kill it. She tells Wei to talk to him and make him stop, as they have been summoning demons for a few days now, and have even collected enough gems to build a few more sects. But Wei says she can't help, as greed is the culture of the Kinging Sword sect. Just then, Gino summons another snake while dreaming of Bai. Wei jumps in to save her, but is scratched by the snake and bleeds. However, Yunji finishes off the snake by chopping off its head. Gino apologizes to Wei, but they are interrupted by Yunfi as she wonders why the snake didn't turn into a gem. Just then, the head of the snake gains life and licks the blood, causing it to regenerate its body. It grows even bigger in size, and this time, its hands even pop out, scaring the girls. But then Wei realizes that maybe it is her Dragon Ball blood that gave the snake so much power. Just then, it starts shooting shards at them, but they are all saved as Bai steps in. He then turns to question who had hidden their hatred, and they all point to Gino, but she clings onto Wei. He notices a bruise on her arm, and his suspicions are confirmed. It was her blood that made the snake so big. So he tells the girls to protect Wei while he kills the snake off. He then climbs onto the snake's body, causing a slit everywhere. And then finally, stabbing his head with his sword, he holds on tight while the head explodes, leaving behind thousands of gems. After killing it off, he tells Wei to bandage herself and gives her an image-storing gem to capture the entire space so that it can later be studied by Yu Chuan. Bai then scolds the girls for not being able to kill a snake like this, so he tells them to summon some more, and they will train in killing them as their devil training begins now. Meanwhile, the prince has been watching all along and is now intrigued by Wei, as he suspects that she is the descendant of the bloodline of the Dragon Ball. He then says to himself that she will die here today. The Wisdom Immortal is now worried because of her presence. Back in the Delight House, Su is catering to a very stressed Huang Fu, who is worried that it has been months since they have gone in, and wonders if they are playing inside. Since Bai is powerful enough to kill a land immortal in minutes, it is worrisome that they are still not back. He questions Bai's ability to protect the disciples, but Su assures him that he can protect tens of thousands of people. Fu falls asleep as he worries about Gino dying in that mansion. Just then, a girl comes out from the smoke and informs Su that her father, the Monster King, is dead. Back in the mansion, Wei is tired of holding on to the image-storing gem and is now bored while Bai is training the girls to fight the snake. Mika runs with her instrument in hand, fighting for dear life. She turns around to play it in order to kill the snake, but it dodges it and is about to kill her when it is stopped and killed by Bai just in time, leaving behind more gems. The girls are exhausted, but he summons another snake, making them wonder how much hatred Bai really has. He instructs them to fight it off, and they all aggressively beat it up and fail, much to Bai's disappointment. He is frustrated now, as he can't find the exit and challenges the Land Immortal to come out and fight. Back in the Delight House, the girl tells Su to take charge, as she has the purest bloodline and this can stop the riots and monsters from taking control over the cities. They will value her due to her pure bloodline, and she can protect the humans she cares about so so much from being attacked. Back at the mansion, the girls are still fighting the snake. Yunfi entangles it while Mika plays her instrument to attack and strangles it with the strings. Just then, Yunfi stabs it, and this angers the snake, so it opens its mouth to attack. Gino steps in and further ties it down with the strings. She lands the final blow, and more gems are left behind as the snake explodes. They are all proud of working together to kill it off, and so is Wei. She goes up to Bai and asks him to also allow her to kill the snakes, but he sends her back to explore. Just then, he summons another big snake, much to everyone's disappointment as they are exhausted. He names this snake his first love that failed. As the snake emerges, the girls stare at it in shock, as it is huge. The prince has realized that Bai won't let Wei fight, so now he has no choice but to fight them in person. He leaves behind the cloak as his red, rotten soul enters the portal. Just then, the Wisdom Immortal says that he is waiting for Bai to come. Just when the girls are done killing off the snake, they beg Bai to finally leave, as he has collected enough gems and Wei is also done recording. But suddenly, the Land Immortal emerges, making Bai happy. He sucks in the gems, which now makes Bai angry, as they are his hard-earned gems. The smoke then turns into a scary, huge demon, and tells them to taste his inner demon since their own inner demons couldn't kill them. Bai realizes that the prince gathered the power of the four pains into his body. He then tells Bai to give up his body in order to let the others go, but Bai mocks him for always grabbing things from others and being unpopular, which makes him angry. So Bai finally asks him to fight. The demon grows even more powerful and attacks Bai, but every limb that he attacks with is torn into pieces. Bai plays around with him and asks him not to die so he can give him more gems. He teases him, which makes the demon angry, and he runs after him. But Bai soon cuts his arms off as he continues to mock him for being a fake prince, which further angers him as Bai seems to know all his inner demons. He bangs his hand on the ground thinking he has caught and killed Bai, but when he lifts his hands up, he sees Bai unharmed and smiling. Bai demonstrates immense power as he once again slices the demon into pieces, and with the final blow, he slices it in half and finishes him off. Bai then orders the girls to gather the gems. Back in the Kingming Sword sect, the leaders have gathered and are strategizing to fight the monsters, to which Yunji is against since their sect is poor. Some leaders ask for cooperation from each other, but some disagree, which angers Huang Fu as he emphasizes how dangerous the situation is. Just then, Su stops them and tells them to wait for Bai, as he will be back soon. But if there is no other way left, she will go back to the monster realm. Back in the mansion, Wei picks up a gem and asks Gino to see if it is a first-class spiritual gem. But Gino assures her that all the stones left behind by the demon are good and better than the ones left behind by the snakes. They all find different types of stones that have powers infused in them. Yunfi even finds a stone that has a thunder attack power times 1,000, so she sticks them all onto her weapon. Meanwhile, Bai is busy chopping off the demon constantly and fishing gems out of him. At this point, even the demon has given up on his desire to have Bai's body and begins to run away. Bai scolds him, causing him to cry gems, which makes Bai happy, and he forces him to cry even more. Bai gets distracted as he is told that Su has asked for their help and that they must hurry up. Meanwhile, the Land Immortal disappears, and when Bai finally notices it, it is too late as the Land Immortal grabs a hold of Wei and pulls her down with him. The Land Immortal challenges Bai to come to rescue Wei. All the girls are also ready to fight, but Bai tells them to be cautious, as it is not that simple. Suddenly, smoke starts covering them from everywhere, and the space starts collapsing, causing everyone to fall into limbo. They are all thrown into the throne room. Bai soon catches all the other girls before they abruptly land on the ground. Just as Bai is about to leave, he hears a sound coming from the rubble. He removes the rocks to find the Wisdom Immortal. He offers to make a deal with Bai in order to exchange information about where Wei is, but Bai must promise to take him out from this place. He tells Bai that the mansion was built using the blood of the Dragon Ball and that Wei is now being used to resurrect a great demon. In a change of scene, we see that Wei is tied up in a secluded place. Suddenly, she wakes up and tries to break free, but then she sees the Land Immortal, who tells her that she can't escape. He then tells her that the more she tries, the more she will bleed, but she is confident that Bai will come to rescue her and that the prince will not be able to beat him even after he sucks all of her blood. Bai then heads out to find Wei in the deepest part of the mansion. Just when Bai arrives, a dog-like demon appears. It is revealed that the creature is the skeleton of the great demon, which was awakened with Wei's blood. Then the demon runs after Bai, but he stabs him, causing the demon pain and then slits his head. However, the demon quickly recovers. Bai then tries to find other spots on his body that might be his weak point, so he continues to attack him. Bai swiftly dodges all his attacks and jumps forward to slice its tail in half, but the tail regenerates. The girls are watching the entire scene, worried for Bai and Wei. Bai slices its body into multiple pieces when he finally finds its weak point. But the demon also realizes this and moves to attack Bai with a great amount of energy. However, it has no effect on Bai, and this shocks the demon. Bai finally stabs its weak point, causing the demon to disappear into ashes. The girls cheer for him as they see him succeed. He finally finds Wei tied up, but is warned by the Prince of the Land Immortal that if he tries to cut any connection, she will die, as she is now linked to the prince. The girls are furious and question the Wisdom Immortal on how to kill the prince. He says the prince has tied his 3 souls to Wei, and the only way to break the connection is if he cuts the connection himself. Back in the Kingming Sword Sect, a man informs Su and the other leaders that the mansion is in turmoil and is affecting the Shangchuan kingdom. After hearing this, all the sects rush to stop the mansion in the sky from collapsing. Meanwhile, the prince reveals to Bai that he has to completely drain Wei's blood to revive the Mansion of Wisdom Immortal and that everyone will die. Bai then offers his body to him in exchange for Wei, but she tries to stop him. However, he doesn't listen and challenges him to take his body. Just when he tries to take Bai's body, Bai ends up capturing 2 of his souls in his hands. He then proceeds to tear his 2 souls using an immense amount of power, while his last soul is still connected to Wei. Bai orders Wei to use his bamboo slip, and the moment she does, she screams in pain, which causes an explosion of spiritual energy. Wei then falls into Bai's arms and asks if she is dead. He assures her that Ling is not there and that he has killed the prince. Then he tells her that his bamboo slip protected her. He then transports them both back to the girls. They praise Bai, and Yunfi even asks him to teach her as his disciple. Bai rushes to the Wisdom Immortal, asking him to teleport them outside, but he refuses and says it is no use going outside since Bai destroyed the main brain of the mansion and everything within a 100-mile radius will collapse. This angers Bai, so he commands him to teleport them outside. Meanwhile, all the sects and their leaders are trying their hardest to protect the kingdom and stop the sky from collapsing. Just then, Fu tells Su to leave as he will hold the fort, but she refuses as she knows Bai will be angry. Just then, Bai puts a hand on his shoulder and he turns to hug him out of happiness, but Bai pushes him off. All of them have made it out successfully, and Bai hands the skull to Yunji. He then instructs everyone to leave. The sky further collapses, and everyone rushes out. As soon as everyone has left, Bai accumulates a huge amount of energy and blows it right at the collapsing mansion. He demonstrates an unimaginable amount of power, which clears the sky as the mansion disappears into thin air. Everyone watches from afar with shock on their faces while Bai radiates energy. Just then, the sky clears and everyone cheers for him as he is floating on his sword. It turns out he has broken through to a new level. A few days later, Wei finally wakes up and Gino is the first one to greet her. She then explains to her the entire situation of how Bai saved the Shangchuan kingdom from collapsing by absorbing the mansion. Meanwhile, Yunji and Yuki-Chuan are annoying the Wisdom Immortal with questions. Just then, Bai appears and asks them to leave. He then asks the question he has been dying to ask, whether he can reach the Foundation Establishment realm. And surprisingly, the Wisdom Immortal tells him that he can. Upon hearing this, Bai is overjoyed and starts dancing around. After he is done dancing, he then asks what he should do. To this, the skull has no answer. Hearing the skull's response angers Bai, but the skull then asks his current level, which is revealed to be 66,666. So he tells Bai that he is an immortal envy with unlimited power and has a boundless energy center. The skull comforts him by telling him that he is invincible and that he shouldn't need to reach the Foundation Establishment realm. The skull also reveals that in ancient murals, a man with his essence perhaps broke through the Kai refining realm, but he doesn't know the method. Bai is still upset, but then the skull tells him he can fight the immortals, since the first man with immortal envy also fought monsters. This catches Bai's attention, and he asks if the monsters would know who he is. The skull replies with a maybe. In a change of scene, we see that Bai is at the Delight House, where Su tells him that he will be her hatchet man. If someone tries to disobey her, he will beat them up. Upon hearing this, Bai is happy as his ego is boosted, but then he surprises her with a strange request, which is to dig her a grave. In a change of scene, we see the same flower girl from before walking up to someone's throne. She informs the man in the robe that the information is all out there, to which he replies that he cannot wait for his elder sister's arrival. To all Leaf Village ninjas, that is it for today. Recap, do not forget to join our clan, our army, my friend. You can do that by clicking that red button below the video. Destroy it for me with that bell. to follow us on YouTube with many videos to come in the following days. So see you later, bro. Peace out.